looks like, yeah, that definitely looks like pendulums, I think.
It might be Magispector variant.
Who knows with Job?
Yeah. Magispector magicians. I think I see pots in there. That's an interesting tech.
Uh-oh.
I don't think he can search that actually.
Do we have a sneaky Gibby on first turn?
I think so, because I think Magispector Toad or whatever his name is says Magispector, and I know that says Majestic or something else.
Bunbuku?
Yeah,
Is that a good card?
I hear it is.
I've seen a lot of memes about a Bunbuku.
Yeah. I've seen some hairy Bunbukus in my day, some
Yeah?
of them not so hairy, but
Huh.
yeah.
Let's see. What's he gonna do now?
I think he's gonna activate.
You know those scurries that we sell yesterday? They already sold. He wants to put the other two up.
Abyss Dweller.
He knows what his opponent's playing.
You think so?
I think he already knows.
He just pulled out his hidden
That'd be
ball.
nuts.
I think that's the problem with playing locals. You know what your opponent usually plays. And since he knows that he has
It's
Mermels,
true.
I think he
That is
also has
very
Clays
true.
those that can mix things up. But this is where he drops that Gamma Seal.
You think this man's gonna drop
If he doesn't have the Gamma Seal, I don't think he has the game. I mean, that Dweller already kind of ruins his plans. Mix that with the Kieran. I see an instant fusion in his hand, so.
So did he guess wrong?
No, I think you guessed right. I think that is his Mermels. But I know David, I believe, has 2 to 3 Gamma Seals in his main.
That's true, 100%. Now that I remember, that's right. He does. He plays Mermails. He's been playing Mermails for a while.
Yeah.
Not very smart on his part to.
If you're looking at this board, I don't know what you're going to do, especially since he preemptively dropped the
This is
Dweller.
genius. He's got a Kieran and an Abyss Dweller.
Yeah,
so
I don't
now
know
I
what he's
see it
going to
all.
do here.
Ugh,
See, told you that was going to happen.
damn. Kaijus are a thing.
It's the only move he had, but I don't know if he'll have anything. Oh,
What?
that was unexpected. See, I don't main that one. So now he can get over that Dweller, but he's going to have to deal with that Kieran coming back next turn. First damage, 500. Some technical difficulties.
I'll go get it.
See, you can tell he kind of broke the tablet.
Sorry about that, guys.
Now, what's he gonna do next? He still has a normal summon, I believe.
Who?
Or did he pass already?
No, I think he passed. Yeah.
I don't see what he's gonna do. That's game on board. He can either go into the Utopia rank 6, or he can just poke with Kieran, bounce that back, and go for game. But
Yeah, I would think he just.
that's game. Unless he's running a Gores, which I don't think anyone runs right now.
David's like, no fucking way. You got me already?
Well, he had an unfair disadvantage since his opponent knew what he was playing already. Oh, he does have that Gores.
Does he?
Yeah, that Ghost Rare Gores.
You gotta be kidding me.
But with that Kieran still on board, it's going to be game regardless, I think. Unless he manages to pull off a Neptibus without getting hit by one of those back row, then that's going to be it.
So he hits his man with a token now.
See you later.
See, I don't know why he's still playing Gores in his build, but he's also main decking more Kaijus than I'd want.
We'll know about 6 rounds if it was a smart decision or not.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense for the Blue Eyes matchup, definitely. As I know that you can get far behind easily in that matchup, and they're easily able to FTK you, so that Gores is gonna. But unless David has a good normal summon here, and even then the 2 back row, that's game.
You think he just gave it up, huh?
Yeah. It can be tough to do that matchup, especially. that Dweller is honestly what won him the game. Because if not for that Dweller, then I'm not sure what he had in his hand. But if he opened anything half decent, he could have popped the scales and either FTK'd through the board or at least put up something.
Correct. Yeah.
Now I'm wondering if David has the anti-spell fragrances or not. That's what I'd be citing in. But
So 52 players today for a case tournament. Over $1,100 in prizes. Hosted by Versus. A little underwhelming.
honestly, with the fact that school just started again,
Yeah.
like with college starting up again, and I know it's a 3-day weekend, and I know we have a good number of people that came in from California, but I don't think I see anyone from Arizona. So it's interesting. It's definitely worth running an event like this, I think, and it brings the community together.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, I agree with that. It's it's one of the reasons why I like it so much. It's just, it's
And
fun.
that's the big thing about Versus, just bringing people together and getting a community to show up and support their game.
Right.
And that's why I think the store is favored by a lot of locals, just because they run events like this.
Right. I mean, you take first place, you're going to get a case. You're going to get a flight to a Yu-Gi-Oh event, an Xbox One or a PS4. It's definitely worth
Lots
it.
of
And then
good
you got
options.
$200 in raffles just for joining.
Yeah.
You have the pack with entry. It's like a little mini regional.
It's a fantastic event, and yes, it's a disappointing turnout, but I think the fact that it was planned only a couple months in advance.
Yeah,
Whereas a regional, we already know when the next 2 regionals in the Valley are.
it's true.
Plus, it's on the Yu-Gi-Oh website. I really wish Konami would help support locals like this and allow them to host their own events and pretty much not necessarily sponsor them, but have a tie-in somewhere.
Yeah, have a tie-in somewhere somehow. So when they do big turn, yeah, I could see that.
But I know a couple of the local guys just didn't have the money to get here just because of the location. Like Alex and his team of 6 or 7 people who wanted to be here just didn't have the money currently for regionals, which I believe Utah has theirs next weekend.
Yep. Yeah, Utah's is next weekend. You have a lot of people saving up for October because October 1st you have the
Henderson, I think.
no, October 1st is LA.
LA.
October 8th is Henderson. And then we have the middle of October, YCS at Minneapolis. And then right after that, there's one in San Jose.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
They
Or
like
no,
to keep us
Anaheim.
busy.
Anaheim.
I'm more likely to go to anything in Anaheim, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to go to all 4 of those events.
I see a Raigeki. See, that's the biggest issue I have with the way he plays. You can always tell the cards he has. Even as his opponent, you can see what he shows at the bottom of his deck. So knowing that he doesn't have that Raigeki means you can go all in, assuming he doesn't set up the solemn back.
Chris Gallardo, when I first started playing, that was one of the first things that he mentioned to me is he was like, look, man, you have to be careful with the way you shuffle. You have to be careful with the way you hand cards to people. A lot of things you got to be careful about because you're going to give knowledge
And
to your opponent.
And that's why I think Spirals, in fact, are going to be one of the more powerful decks in the upcoming formats. Right now, they don't have enough support, but the fact that they just check your opponent's deck
Right.
and they gain advantage off of that, more than just the knowledge, but being able to summon a card by checking correctly and pop a back row, like,
It's true.
there's certain things about that archetype and Subterrors as well. I truly think this is the first time Konami's actually trying to make it to where there's two good TCG exclusives. Because if you look at Cosmos or Kaijus will never be their own deck.
No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Not.
They might be mixed in with other stuff. You might be able to play them in Mermills as Save It is with a full Kaiju engine, but it's never going to be its own deck.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, if you look at BA and UAs, BA was clearly better. Burning
Absolutely.
Abyss, it's still, I think Dante's been here for 3 years almost. 2.5 now, I think, since we got him. And he's still
Too
relevant
long,
in the meta.
man. Way too long. Still can't believe Dante stayed, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. God, he got
Gamma
Kaiju
sealed again.
again.
See, that's why I think Gamma Seal is just amazing. The only way you're ever going to get rid of Kaijus in the meta is if you limit all of them. Like, you can't just hit Gamma Seal because they'll just run the 2400. But the only way you're ever going to get rid of them is if you limit them, and even then, people are still going to play them. They'll just have to play a different array of them. But the reason why Gamma Seal is so good in this deck, he cannot do that from my understanding because he's already got the Kaiju on board. And because of the Magispector, in fact, the Magispector needs to be destroyed in order for Kaiju to resolve.
Sneaky Gibby.
Yeah. I'll fill them in on the end of it, but both of them have made legal plays this game. Searching out the field spell and activating that when you can't destroy all cards on field. And he has the Neptibus. I think that's going to be game here if he plays it right. I think that might be a Ghost Ogre in hand.
Might be.
No, DD.
Diddy Crow. Interesting.
Now, if he has a Megalo or something in hand already, then I don't think that DD Crow is going to really matter. If it's the instant fusion in hand, I think that's the only thing that's going to matter at all. Frankly, 50 players is still a pretty fantastic turnout, I think.
Yeah, well, it's the second most we've ever had for a case tournament.
When you did the Bosch, I think you had...
57.
Yeah.
57 for Bosch. That was also our grand opening as well. So
Plus, it was at a better time. I think that was right near winter break, if I recall.
Yes.
So winter break versus the start of school. But you guys at least have a vendor here.
Yeah. my thing is I've been thinking, do I host one for Invasion Vengeance?
I think you need to lay out a poll with the local crowd, maybe through your Facebook group, and see how many people would be willing to pay in, and pretty much have prepays so that you have an idea.
Absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
if you've got the prepay system going, then you know if you need to host here or if you can host at the store. Because that's the biggest thing. It's right in December, or I believe when the set
November.
comes out. November, yeah. Because of November, I believe it could be an issue with school again for people. But
true.
frankly, if you post it on a weekend and they know in advance, and if they're paying in advance already, then but I think a case tournament for $15 is definitely, and a pack with entry, I mean,
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
So use the Onyx Fusion. I really like Job's deck.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be really powerful.
There's some variants of the pendulum mechanic that I enjoy. I'm personally a fan of being able to play the Dark Engine
Yeah,
because triple allure at this point.
absolutely.
The new Odd Eyes, I can't remember the name of the monster, but the level 3 Dark Odd Eyes Dragon, that's searchable off of the field spell.
Right.
Joker can search a dark. You've got like 3 or 4 different ways to search out a dark card to discard with the allure, and that hand power just generates itself. Like, don't get me wrong, I still miss having Monkey. Monkey needed to be banned though. But I
Yeah.
think some sort of variant, being able to play the Kaijus, not the Kaijus, my apologies, being able to play the Magispectors with a Dark Engine, I think would be extremely relevant in the
I agree.
meta. It just takes someone to figure it out. But if that's all he has on board, then I think he has game already. Unless he has that Gores in hand again.
I think he does, honestly. The way he's holding his cards and he's verifying, like, I think if you don't have a play, like,
If you don't have a Gores, then why do you care?
yeah, why do you care at this point?
But he still has the Kieran. I don't think he's used Kieran's effect this turn.
What the?
It didn't look like a Gores in his hand, but it's also kind of.
He's got to know it's game.
Yeah, that's
There
game.
it is, okay.
He shook on it.
DD Crow saves the day.
It was an interesting option. Like, DD Crow would have worked there, but I can't remember the name of it. There's also the card that when you add a card, you can discard it,
Uh-huh.
and no more adding that turn. I
Right.
can't remember the name of it. It just got a reprint as a super, and that's a fantastic option as well against Mermails. And more importantly, the new Cyber Angel archetype. When that Ben 10 activates to search, you can also activate it and keep your opponent from getting more searches in the future.
Uh-huh.
Because the big issue with that deck is the amount of fairies that they can add to hand. Being able to beat the Herald of Perfection when they have 5 in hand is really tough.